Hi everyone.
Okay.
This is Kris and
Hi.
and we're coming to you live from my girlfriend's sewing machine and education center woo-hoo, in Sandy, Utah. And let's see, we have some fun things to share with you, including a Stashbuster surprise. So
I love it.
You love it?
I love it.
So I'm going to show you a quick little tutorial on how to do just that. So I'm going to turn the camera over to Miss Kyle.
Oh, Kris.
There we go. And we'll turn this around. There we go.
Better.
Kyle. Is that
Thank
better?
you.
Okay. Sheesh. You know, it takes a lot to make you look this good.
Does it when you're not expecting it.
Right. Ay. We have had a fun day here at the shop. We just finished with our first day of sewing with my Nomies. Super fun projects that everyone made, and I can't wait until day 2, which starts tomorrow. But as you are getting on, we'd love to hear where you're coming from. Let us know what part of the country or even out of the country that you're visiting us from, and we're gonna do a little video on how this month's Stashbuster challenge goes. Now, I've gone ahead and put the download in the link in the description. So when you're ready to knock this out of the park, go ahead and download and print it from your computer. That pattern is yours, available for free for 1 week only, and then after that it's just $1. It's not very much, but if you want to get it free, it's all available to you all this week from today and through the 7th. Okay, so
Guess who's watching?
who's watching?
Let's see. There's Catherine.
Catherine.
Geddes.
Hi, Catherine.
Suzanne
I
Sadler.
hear you had a good lesson on your pro stitcher today.
Oh, yeah, she did.
So I'm happy to hear that.
Suzanne.
And hi, Suzanne. So good to have you here. We love seeing your face here.
And our friend
And
Mary Christensen.
Mary
She's in
Christensen.
Texas.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mary, for coming to us live from Texas.
And Jessica's at her desk.
And of course, Jessica. We're glad you're on. Jessica's making sure that Kyle and I are doing this the right way, right? All
And
right.
Libby
so-
from Indiana.
Wonderful. Indiana, wow.
And
So
Minnesota.
if you have any questions along the way, please feel free to chime in and ask away. We'll answer them live. And if you have questions that we don't get to live, we'll be happy to answer them later on in the comments.
Denver.
Okay, Denver.
Catherine.
Oh, there we go. Is it Catherine or Kathleen?
Catherine.
From Denver. Okay, Catherine. All right, my friends, we are going to do one of the most commonly used block this month for quilters, and that is, can you guess? Any guesses out there? What is the most commonly used quilt block you see out there? Well, I guess besides a 4-patch, right? Or besides a 9-patch. Any answers?
No,
Any guesses?
somebody's from Illinois, but
Okay.
Oh.
In your mind,
Lisa's
if you
watching.
guess a half square triangle, that is what we're going to be
Pinwheel,
focused
Mary said.
on. Pinwheel. Yes, pinwheel is made up of 4 half square triangles. So yeah, you're right, Mary. So here we go. Half square triangles. Guess how many you're going to make? A lot.
a lot.
You're going to make 100 half square triangles.
Will that
for
take us
this
100
block.
years?
No, I promise you, Kyle, it's not going to take you 100 years because
Yeah.
I'm going to show you this great technique of how to make 8
Get out.
half square triangles at one time. Are you
Nice.
ready for it?
Mary says a zillion.
A zillion. Yeah, that's
Yep.
right.
It's gonna
That's
go
right.
so quick.
Okay, so let's take a look here. What do we have? So you are going to start out with 13 12-inch squares of background. You got
Okay.
that, Kyle?
Yep.
And 13 12-inch squares of your print, okay? So it doesn't matter what prints, we want you to use scrappy. Scrappier the better, but out of a 12-inch block, you're going to be able to get 8 half square triangles out of it. Yes.
That's awesome.
So 13 prints, 13 backgrounds. Got it?
That 12 inches?
12 inches each. Okay.
Okay.
Now, what I've done here, as you can see, is I have put right sides together. So the right side of my background to the right side of my print, and I place them one directly on top of the other. Then what I want you to do is you're going to take your ruler and a marking pen, which I forgot to bring over, so we'll pretend my pointer finger is my marking pen, and you are going to line up not on the diagonal, but a 1/4 inch away from the diagonal corner, and you're going to draw a straight line going from left to right, down at bottom.
To the other one?
To top left to bottom right, and we're going to go on this side, and we're going to measure a 1/4 inch from the corner and draw this side. So it's like we're doing half square triangles, but we're actually doing 8 of them at one time.
Ooh.
So these are the lines that we're actually going to sew on top of. Notice, Kyle, that we do not have the diagonal line right on the corner.
Nope.
Again, it's a 1/4 inch from the corner, both sides, okay?
So it's a 1/2 inch in between those lines.
Exactly. If you were to measure that, yep, you're exactly right. It would be a 1/2 inch between those lines, okay? Because it's a 1/4 on each side, yep. And then you're going to do the same thing on this side. You're going to start from, let me pull this over so you don't get mixed up with this fabric over here. Okay. You're going to do the same thing on this side, and you're going to draw this way. So now you have a 1/4 inch from the diagonal corner on this side and a 1/4 inch on this side, and draw those lines. So you have these lines that form an X.
Okay.
Okay, is that pretty clear?
Looks good.
Again, if you have any questions along the way, just let us know. All right, so once you've done that, now you're going to take it to your sewing machine and you're going to stitch directly on top of those lines all the way down. You'll end up with 4 lines of stitching.
And you go right through in the center section.
Yep, right through the center section. All right.
Okay.
Okay, so then what you do, I've already stitched on top of these lines, and you can see that I've already cut this out, but I brought it back together to be able to illustrate this to you. What you're going to do is you're going to take your ruler and measure halfway into the center. Well, if we know these are 12-inch blocks, what is the halfway point?
I know.
6 inches, right? Well, fortunately for me, I'm actually using a 6-inch ruler. So boy, that makes it even easier. But whether you have a 6-inch or whatever size you have, you are going to go halfway in, which is 6 inches, okay? So then at this point, you will simply cut it, which I've already done right here. And what I want you to do is start the cut in the center first, okay? Go from up to down, okay, in the center first. Then what you'll do is you'll take your ruler, and without moving anything or shifting anything, you'll do it again this way, in this direction. Now we're going to go horizontal, again 6 inches into it, and we're going to slice down that way.
And you don't have any stitch lines on this, right?
No, notice that there are no stitch lines on these, so make sure that, again, you're just 6 inches halfway into the square, and then slice that. Thank you for pointing that out. Now, again, without moving anything, go ahead and take your ruler, and this time we are going to cut, in between the stitch lines, okay, going this direction.
So they're each a 1/4 inch.
Exactly. So we go this way, and then we do it one final time. We're going to put the ruler this way and cut in between those lines. So there you have it, my friends. Take a look. You are going to have 8 half square triangles. Isn't that fantastic?
Wow.
Any questions on that so far?
I don't see any. Oh,
Okay, so
Mary says that's amazing.
it is amazing. So fun. What a great way to quickly get your half square triangles done as quickly as possible. And again, you only have to pull 13 different fabrics, but 12-inch squares from each
So
of
you
them.
only have to do this 13 times.
You do this 13 times.
I can do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And before you know it, your half square triangles, the 100 of them, are going to be all done. Now, what I want you to do is set these aside in a pile. And this is the next important step, is that you need to square them up to 5.5 inches, okay? 5.5 inches. The thing about half square triangles is that no matter what pattern I do, I always like to start a little bit bigger as a cut and then be able to square them up. That's going to give you perfect half square triangles. You're not going to have to worry about if your points are going to match or not, because I promise your points have a really good chance of matching if the cutting is right. And so if you're like me and sometimes you're cutting or sometimes you're piecing is not 100% perfect, the trick is, the real key is to actually cut a little bit larger and then trim them down. I promise you, you're gonna have much better results that way.
It's harder to add.
It's harder to add, much easier to subtract, exactly. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna trim these down to 5.5 inches. So what I'm gonna use is the help of my Tucker Trimmer 1. I absolutely love this tool. If you have not been introduced to this tool yet, I promise you your life will never be the same once you use it. Perfect for half square triangles or hourglass blocks, combination units. There's so many fun things you can do with this ruler, and I absolutely love it. So I highly recommend it. If you don't have one of these and you'd like to get your hands on one, just give us a call at the shop. We're happy to get one for you. We can then ship it to you directly, or you can come and pick it up at the store. Okay.
Now you're not pressing that before you're squaring that up.
Actually, I would. If I was buying iron right now, I would actually. Let me tell you this. I'm glad you pointed that out because I almost forgot. After I'm done sewing this, I would take an iron and press it before I cut it. Oh. Okay, that way it saves me another step, because normally when you press, you set your seams and then you open it up, right? Well, if we press this all at one time, I mean, we're good to go. And then we can, you know, cut it and press it later.
Annie says that Tucker trimmers are amazing.
They are. Tucker Trimmer, I'm absolutely in love with.
Mary had no idea. She'd never heard of that ruler.
Oh my goodness, you're gonna love it. Once I show you how easy this is to square up, you're definitely gonna want one in your sewing toolbox for sure. Okay, so because we're going to 5.5 inches, there is a dashed line here that goes from 5.5 to 5.5, right? Well, the key here is we're gonna place this dashed line directly on top of the stitch line, not on the outer edge, but on the stitch line, all right? So when we do that, we're gonna see that a little smidgen is gonna come off of here and a little smidgen going off there.
Not much.
Not
but it makes a
much
difference.
at all. It makes a huge difference, okay? And then I slice it off there. So it's like giving a little haircut, and there you go, my friends. You have the perfect half square triangle. Isn't that wonderful? Now, I'll tell you another thing I like to do. I like to trim all of these at once, put on a good movie, if you will, sit at a little card table and just trim those away. Don't even worry about it or think about it too much. But here's another thing I like to do. Before I even open them up to press, I like to trim off my dog ears before. Do you ever do that, Kyle?
No, I never have.
Yeah.
I wanna
Okay.
know, how do I know how big of a dog ear?
I'll show you. So, what I mean, if you're not sure with what I'm talking about, referring to, when we press this out, we will have these little tails that come off the end, and we call these dog ears. That's kind of the quilting term we refer to it as. Well, you could, after you trim it up, you could go through and snip. And snip and take the next one. Yeah, nobody's got time for that. You still have to do some snipping, but I actually do it in a lot faster way. And what I do is I take my rotary cutter and I just go like that. It's almost like I have formed a Superman symbol. Think of it that way. So I'm going from the outside corner in, and if you just go by the 1/4 inch, and I didn't even, I didn't even think about it. Look at that. I have no dog ears to trim afterwards, okay? So what I recommend you to do is to do that. Now let me do another one just for kicks and giggles because it was so much fun, right?
Yeah.
Okay, making sure that everybody knows how to do this.
Okay.
Again, I'm squaring up to 5.5. If I was squaring this up to 3.5, look, I'd put the 3.5 line there and I would trim that much off.
On the stitch line.
But you're gonna put it on the stitch line. I'm going to 5.5. I'm gonna put it directly on the stitch line, direct.
Now, you don't try and match it up on one side and not trim that. You're trying to trim both sides.
You're gonna trim both sides because you're probably most likely not very even on this, okay? So I'm just gonna trim up both sides. Again, 5.5 inches. I don't even have to think about it. I just hurry and place it on that line, And look at that, a little smidgen off that way, a little smidgen off that way. I'm going to trim my dog ears while I can.
That's a good idea, right then and there.
Just right then and there. We've got our Superman emblem. And here we go. We have a beautiful half square triangle that was really easy to make. So you're gonna make 100 of these. And I promise you, it really doesn't take that long. You'll be done with it before you know it. And then we're gonna start combining these units. So there is a diagram on how to do this. And I left it in Logan. I left my actual quilt in Logan.
No.
So what I'm gonna just show you is this. I want you to picture this for a minute, if you will. This is what we're creating is an around the world, around the world quilt, where we're gonna have these diagonal lines going around the world, if you will. So we're gonna have a white and a print, you know, and all these matching colors. So if you want to see the actual picture of the quilt, I have it on our website, and you can find it at the download link. The download link is right in the description of this video. Again, it's yours for free by the end of the week, so make sure and grab it, and you can see how stinking cute this quilt is.
Darling.
It ends up being a 60-inch by 60-inch quilt, which is a perfect size as a throw. I think it would be super fun to do it as a picnic blanket, especially now it's finally spring, yay, right? And I think it would be really a fun quilt for that. So that's the challenge this month. Again, remember on the Stashbuster challenge, if you finish this quilt in particular by, let's see, today's April, if you finish it by May 10th and you post a picture of it online, use the hashtags My Girlfriend's Quilt Shop and Stashbuster Challenge 2019, we'll be able to find those pictures, and Jessica will send you a coupon for 40% off one item in our store, and you can use that coupon online as well. There are a few exclusions, not very many, but there's just a few out there.
Katie says she downloaded and printed already.
Already? Way to go, Katie, way to go. So if you get the Stashbuster quilt done by the, let's see, May 31st, you will receive a 25% off coupon to use. So it's still a great deal, and who doesn't love a good challenge, right? We all love a good challenge. So, you know, go for it. It's not too late, by the way, to finish the March Stashbuster. Again, you have till April 10th. To finish the March one for your 40% off coupon. You have till April 30th for your 25% off coupon.
Wow.
So you've got plenty of time, my friends. Go fight, win, right? Are there any other questions out there before we sign
Mary
off?
said, like a diagonal box?
Yes, like a
How you lay it
diagonal
out?
box is how it lines out. Yeah, it's really, really cute. And like I said, you'll see the picture of it on the download page. So definitane check it out. I think
Sandy
you're
is
gonna
doing
like
it now. She's downloading it now.
Wonderful. Glad to hear that,
Suzanne
Sandy.
is watching. Dixie is watching.
Hi, Suzanne.
That's awesome.
Hi, Dixie. Thank you so much for joining us. And again, if you have any questions along the way, please feel free to reach out, and we're happy to help however we can. Come see us in Logan and Sandy, as well as our sister store in Midway, which is Midway Wool by My Girlfriend's Quilt Shop. Then we've got this in Sandy, we have My Girlfriend's Sewing Machine and Education Center, and in Logan is My Girlfriend's Quilt Shop. So hope you'll come by and see us. All right, everyone, good luck. Can't wait to see your pictures. Bye-bye.